We're not allowed. You do Google Home Affairs. Tell me why when I sit in the booth, he's like, no, please take off your... I'm like... I saw myself making this face. I'm 25 years old. And then I was like... And then I'm like, can I put it up to here? He's like... Anyways. It's safe to say I have no shame anymore. I am a shameless woman. Like, this is... Anyways, it was a good day outside. Devin Curry. That's where it's at. Hey. Hey. Hello. Hey. Now you just need to move the wrist. Perfect, Mango. Look at that. This is $20. It smells like childhood. It's literally a summer's day. There's 20 fucking kids in front of you in the line, and they serve this bad boy. Whose spoon's full? Cold. This ice cream has literally no substance. It's like cotton candy almost. It's like it disappears as soon as it's in your mouth, but you taste the flavor. Wow, why is my voice so many octaves lower? Hello? Anyways, I just had a thought after watching this video.
No more creative endeavors as thinly veiled ways for shallow people to get clout. The time is over, bro, because the masters of our crafts are dying right before us. Niggas who truly had a vision and like could write a textbook about the way that they did things are gone. And the generation under us is too brain rotted to study anything. It's like we really seeing the repercussions of the internet handing everybody anything and nobody having to go find shit no more. Because now nobody got no taste. Because they didn't have to build taste.
Anyway, so I watched this and I thought it was very interesting. You know, sometimes shouting at people, sometimes shouting at people and not talking to people makes people like not register what you're trying to say. And I feel like I just wanted to frame that which was said in a way that is not talking at people but talking to people, because I feel like he was talking to me on my art journey, or me like coming to terms with being an artist. I've been through so many phases. The first time I said I'm an artist, I think it was 2022. I think so. Girl. For many years, my creativity was linked to performance and performing a certain identity. I was born in the church, a pastor's kid, and my creativity was used solely as a way to give to my religious community. And that's how I saw it for many, many years. It never was a thing that was my own. It was never something to figure out. The thing about a child performing in that environment is that regardless of if it's good or not, at least what I've experienced, let me not say anything else. Regardless of if it's good or not, regardless of that child's connection to what they're doing, it will always be put on a pedestal, because it's like, oh my god, a child is like saying what the old people are saying. You know, like, a lot of children don't get spirituality in the way that adults do, where it's like very like intense and very like non-playful and very like serious. When a child like expresses themselves with the cadence of an adult, I feel like adults tend to say, like, put this in front of people and say, you see, this child gets it, like, this child gets it. I feel like that's what was done to me, where I very much had no real connection to what I was doing or what I was saying, to the poems I wrote, to the songs I sang, to the performances I did, because I was a child trying to just be loved. Like, that was what my creativity was to me. It wasn't this thing that I was trying to figure out and how to make sense of the world. It was a way to make the adults around me look at me and make other people look at me. It was a way for me to get some attention. Honestly, I lived in a big household with so many people. I felt like when I presented something that could make my family seem like better Christians to other Christians, that's the only time I really felt like I was seen. I was looked at, not necessarily seen, but looked at. It's what my relationship was to my creativity. I never had a mentor that was like, that taught me that my creativity had so much more purpose than that, you know. And nobody ever saw that. Nobody ever looked at me and said, I feel like this is giving pick me. Like, nobody ever looked at me and said, this is giving, you're trying to say, just look at me, please. I never explored my creativity by myself, is what I'm generally trying to say. So I never had a real connection to it in a way where I was trying to learn about it. And I had, like, you know, the curse of talent, where it was like I never had to learn anything. It was like, she's talented, it's natural. Do you know what I'm saying? So I had those messages, like, from a very, very young age, where it's like, she's talented. It gave me like this false ego where it bit me in the ass as I grew up, because like now it's like my talent only took me to a certain point, where now skill has to compensate for what is lacking, and it's not there. I don't have any skills. I'm just a girl that's like talented, and I'm like looking at my talent, feeling so betrayed by it, like, talent, please, like, why is it not working anymore? Why can't I do this thing on the first go? Why? And it like makes your self-esteem go like because it was a false confidence. There were people who were like pushing me, but like not necessarily in a way that was like about the creativity in and of itself, but rather about, from my perspective, rather about how it boosted like the church, how it was entertaining, how it was so lovely to see a young person be so mature and blah blah blah. But anyways, that to the side, I just wanted to give you some context on like my journey with my creativity. I didn't even call myself an artist, even when I was doing all of that, even when I was performing, singing, blah blah blah. I didn't see myself as an artist. I saw myself as a girl who went on stage and did stuff, the talented one, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. So it's been a grueling experience trying to find a more grounded way to connect to my creativity. It's been a humbling experience, and I feel like I'm gonna cry. Ugh. When I started listening to music when I was a teenager, and music that like spoke to me, where I started to understand what I feel like the purpose of art is. And I felt like understood for the first time. I felt understood. I felt like someone was like seeing me. I didn't have to do anything. I just put on my headphones. I walked to school and I was listening to someone just speak to me, speak about me. It was like I could see myself through these people. And I think that's what art is. For me, art is a way to communicate. It's a way to create, a way to see things. It's like molding glasses so people can see through it. It's a way to hold someone's hand without touching them. Does that make sense? That's what art is. That was my experience. That's why I love it so much. That's why I love music so much. It's a way to tell people your story, to bring people into experiences, to share, and it's to connect. That's what art is. And I never knew that until I knew it. So I think the passion of people who are very like angry at the state of art and the state of creativity is that I feel like they know that what the purpose of art is, and they feel like the art that we are consuming is devoid of that. It lacks communication, or rather it communicates kind of like a distant conversation. It lacks skill. Like, communication is a skill at the end of the day. Art is like learning the skill of how to communicate, how to articulate in your medium. When you don't learn how to articulate in your medium, you don't learn the language of your medium, you're a bad communicator, and therefore you're a bad artist. But I feel like people stop there and maybe like cut people off at that point, like, you're a bad artist. I don't like that. We need to encourage people. I need to be encouraged a lot of times to be better, to articulate better, to learn the language of my mediums better. But I just want to communicate better, and I feel like I communicate best when I'm speaking sometimes, and I just want to like practice how to do that, I guess. Messages are embedded in artists' souls, and it's our jobs to communicate those messages. And if you don't learn the skill of your medium, you're a bad communicator of that message. It will be misunderstood. It won't touch people's hand. It won't reach them the way it's meant to. And if the people that raised me artistically didn't learn those skills, I wouldn't have learned, like I wouldn't have been reached rather effectively. Art and music gave me a second chance to view life in like a vivid way. I wouldn't have gotten that chance if the artists that raised me creatively, the artists that spoke to me, didn't do it effectively, and they didn't learn this skill, and they didn't love what they were doing. I wouldn't have learned. I wouldn't have been touched. I feel like when I speak here, I'm speaking to myself. I feel like I get demotivated easily. I'm resistant to learning a lot of times because, as I've said, creativity has always been an ego thing for me. So, like, to drift away from this natural talent is difficult. But I feel like it's necessary. Because I too want to pass it on. And I hope to find a way to do that effectively. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna focus on practicing. It feels good to talk passionately. I don't think I've done it in a while, so it feels really good. Okay, that's my case. I rest it. You're it, guys. To any artist people out there, just keep trying. Keep trying. That's all we need. But yeah, I'll see you next time. Keep trying and keep creating. Bye.
Baby, yeah.